Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Business Diaries. I'm your host, John Davis, and I'm here again with co-host Steve Ledgerwood. Today, we've got Falicia Newsome on the show. She's the founder of a small business called Newsome Notary and Professional Tax Services based in Florida in the United States. Her business offers tax preparation and accounting services for a range of clients in Florida, but all across the United States as well. Falicia, I'm really, really happy to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
I am too. I am too. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your business and how you help your clients?
Most definitely. Born and raised, I'm Floridian, so I'm born and raised in Tampa, Florida. And I started my business just with family. I was helping out some family with some documents, and I saw that it was growing into like a real need. And so I branched out and I included tax services, and man, did it take off. Now, the first few years, I didn't take it serious, but once I started seeing my client base build and the money I was making, I was like, wow, this could really work. So I ended up leaving a job of 7 years and just stepped out on faith and pursued it. And I haven't looked back since.
And when did you do that?
I did that in 2017.
And what were you doing beforehand?
I was a network engineer.
A network engineer. That's very different from what you do now.
It's totally different. I was nervous, but I mean, it's worked and it's steady growing, and I'm forever grateful.
So to Steve's point, that is quite a change. What precipitated that change? Because they're two very different careers, and what made you think like, okay, I'm actually just going to get up and I'm going to do something completely different?
Because
and also tax. I mean, that's crazy.
I know, right? You know what? I've always been really good with numbers. While in my position, I wasn't really working with people. It was more like circuits. I'm a people person, so I like to conversate. I like to get out and meet people. I just like doing different things. And by pursuing the notary and the tax preparation, I've met so many wonderful people versus just sitting behind a desk, running tests on circuits all day and not really having any human interaction.
Yeah, it's really important. There's some people that are really suited to it, and very methodical and want to spend that time on problem solving. But it's just people that are just naturally born to go out and have conversations with people and work with people. So it's really interesting.
So, network engineer, circuits, numbers, tax.
Right?
He's still on it.
Can we just elaborate on that? So the actual question is, obviously you saw a need, you saw an opportunity. That's great. But there's obviously a little bit of requirement for you to be qualified in that.
Most definitely.
To be certified. So how did you have to go through that process while you were changing your career?
I've always been a numbers person. I've always been really good with math, versus being a network engineer. We used to have to run like SQL queries and things like that. So I've always been good with numbers. And I just, when I was doing notaries, people were asking me, hey, do you do taxes? And I just started off small. And as I was doing it, I saw the difference I was making in the amount of, like the refund I was able to get my clients. And so I was like, hey, I really like doing this. And so I would start getting a lot of referrals, and it just took off. So it was just by someone asking me, do I do it? And I tried it and liked it. It was really that simple.
And did you have to be certified to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Or okay. So how long did that certification take?
You do. You have to you have to become a certified tax preparer. You have to take continuous education courses. You have to get your PTIN, that's your preparer tax identification number with the IRS. So I mean, anyone can't you have people out here doing it without being certified, but the proper way would be to get your credentials in order.
And tell me, how long does a certification take to start with?
It took, it's just like in 4 hours, I think it was. Like you have to take a course of 4 hours, and then you have to do it each year.
Understood. Okay,
Yes.
great. So, I mean, the reason why I asked the question is because I wondered, some people have to do a whole series of courses and education over a course of a year. So I wondered if you were doing that while you were doing your network engineering, or if it wasn't. So it sounds like that you didn't need to do that through your networking engineer opportunity. It was just a good crossover because it was quite a short course that you had to do. So yeah, great. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I also have a BS in communication, and I took some accounting courses, so I'm familiar with like the math part of it. So that's good to have as a tax preparer as well.
This is really interesting, the transition between two careers. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. All right. I want to talk about just like the very, very early days when you got started. So you mentioned that you got some great feedback from people like, hey, you're great at this, like, can you do more tax for me? But like I want to know a little bit about what that initial journey looked like. Did you take on any advice from anybody or anything like that? Or was there any kind of involvement from third parties to help you get your business set up? Or is it just literally, you know what, mic drop, I'm out, like I'm going to go set up, my company and that's it kind of thing?
Just to explain context to that question, is just we have lots of business owners that are listening on this podcast series, and they're struggling with how to do things and how to set themselves up. So the context of the question is just to understand, did you get help in setting it up, or like you said, was it just I started small and then I built up over time and then maybe I got help? So yeah, it's just trying to get the listeners and the audience to understand how they can do that themselves. Yeah.
You know what? I did everything myself. I spent hours researching, hours just registering for all these free like white pages, yellow pages. I was just putting my information out there. It takes a lot of time to do that. And it's just was to get my business presence known. If nobody knows about me, word of mouth is good, but online presence is great. And I just spent hours just putting my business out there. Then the phone calls were coming. It was just putting in the time doing the research myself. I didn't even know who to reach out to.
Wow.
So now I help other small businesses register their business, give them consultations on how they can grow their business, because I've done it. I started from ground zero, so I know what it takes to build.
The calls that were coming in, they were from referrals, or did you get from the websites that you created, or how did it work?
It was just putting my business online, and I started with all the free resources. It's a lot of directories you can just sign up for free. I did hundreds. Now when you look, you see my name everywhere. I was just plugging in my information, and I was getting a phone call. It was like, hey, are you a notary? Yes. I saw you online. I was like, which one? And I start just piggybacking off that, and
Yeah.
that's all it took. Yeah.
I guess just thinking about other small business owners in the context of Steve's point, what do you think out of everything that you did, like in that initial phase, what do you think worked best for you? And what would you say to other business owners like in a similar position to you?
Persistence. You have to keep at it. It's a lot of people think, okay, I'm just going to do this one thing. It's going to work. I'm going to be successful. It's hard work. It's constant, just hours and hours of hard work. You have to be dedicated to the cause. If not, it's not going to happen.
Lots of late nights, lots of
Oh
coffee,
my goodness, yes.
of...
Yes.
And how long do you think that took?
I would say at least about 6 months for it really to, to have your online presence. It took about 6 months, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you I'm going to nail my colors to a mast, right? I'm a marketer through and through. That's what I've been doing for too long, actually. I think nearly 15 years.
Wow.
Um, and I wanted to ask you, do you do much in the way of marketing now, and what works best for you if you did do marketing, now?
Because I started so long ago, you know what I used to do? I used to get business cards, and I'll leave them at like gas pumps. I would leave them all kind of crazy places for people to see.
That's
People have to
amazing.
pump gas. I would leave them in the bathroom stalls. I would leave my business cards anywhere where it was visible. So, that's how I started marketing. But now, it's so many avenues you can pursue. I didn't know anything about Google Ads and none of that. Of course, now I do, but back then it was just like business cards, handing your business cards out, having a website. But even then, I didn't even have a website back then.
And you were just, I mean, I love that line. You were just throwing business cards.
I was leaving them,
Yeah,
and it was
gas pumps.
working. It was working. Somebody was like, "Hi, I see your business card on the gas pump." Yeah. How can I help you?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'm glad you picked it up and you called me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. So you talked about a website. I'm going for a little bit on a tangent here. And like a lot of like our listeners struggle with that initial process of setting up a website and building a website. And from what you said, you've just grafted and got on with it with yourself. Where did you go to get a website set up? Was it more like just online resources, and what did you use and how did you go about it?
My first website was through Vistaprint, because if you get business cards through them, you get like a free 30-day website. And so I tried that out. And then I saw the traffic it was bringing in due to my online presence, me taking the time to put my business information out there and plug in my website. And so I start seeing like the traffic grow. So I just started off with something free, like Vistaprint, to see how it would basically how it works, how it would benefit my business. And free trials, definitely I would recommend trying those. I mean, see how it works for you.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to, when you're a small business owner, you don't want to commit
Exactly.
to too much risk early
Until
on.
you know it
So
works.
yeah. No, that's what we hear that a lot. And it's really valuable insight.
So that we can get some numbers here a little bit, if you don't mind. So started in 2017. How many customers did you have from you said you had a few customers that you were going into the transition.
Yeah.
And what is that customer count?
So I started off with just family, right? So I would say I only had about 5 to 6 clients when I first started off. In 2017, when I left my job, I had over 100 clients.
Wow. And what's the number now?
Now it's 700.
Wow.
Yeah, this
That's
is my
crazy.
largest tax year. It's been phenomenal.
Wow. And did you have to grow with staff as well to try and support that?
Oh, most definitely. I was trying to do it all by myself. No way. No
And
way. Yes.
So you started with yourself in 2017. When was your first hire?
In 2021.
And how many do you have now?
5.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Including myself
Wow.
would be 6.
And tell me, is it just you're just doing their tax returns just to see if they, what they're doing for each tax year? So that's for 700 customers, and then notary services wherever you can, right? So obviously there's a law around making sure that you have authority for any legal documents. Is that right?
That's right.
Wow. Okay, great. Wow.
So I'm busy year round. Even when tax season slows down, because the majority of my clients are business owners. So they would need like documents notarized. They'll need help with accounting, bookkeeping. So it's just having that client base. It's year round.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And even though it's a year round, isn't there like a silly peak season because the majority of your 700 customers are are doing it like end of April, I assume, right? Or end of March.
Yes. I would say February through March. It's like little to no sleep.
Hell.
Yes. It's so
Oh,
busy. Like, it's been incredible. I'm not complaining.
I want to just reflect on the fact that I think that that's an amazing story.
Thank you.
It just helps so many business owners see what success looks like if you do really a lot of hard graft. So, you walking to different petrol stations to put your business cards in there. Today, people are like, business cards no longer are relevant, but actually they
Right.
are.
Now you
Yeah.
got QR codes. You don't even need a
Yeah.
physical business card.
But still, even if someone today started their own business and they wanted to do what you did, I think they would still be successful because
Most
no one's doing it
definitely.
anymore. So
Yeah.
you kind of, the market's small, and it's very interesting. I was in an event May, so 2 months ago, probably just under 2 months. We were in New York, and we did an event in Florida, and we didn't need business cards. So it was quite digital, very keen on doing scans, QR codes, and they had really, gone through that process to say we're now paperless. When I went to the event in New York, we followed suit, thinking that actually all US states are the same. And in New York, they all were giving us so much grief because we didn't have business cards.
Wow.
So we had this process where we were like, oh, what do we do now? Because we got this paperless solution, and they were like, I don't want that. I want a business card. Where's a
Right.
business
Some
card? I was
people
like,
still
oh,
want it. A lot of people still want it
yeah,
because a lot of people isn't tech savvy.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of that. I think it's a little bit of people not being so tech savvy, but then I think like in a world where tech is absolutely everywhere, you interact with it every day on your devices, on your television, phone, computer, the whole lot, or cell phone, should I say? It's like I think there's a place for it. I think there's a place for direct mail as well, like in marketing campaigns. Like I think if it's something's very well thought out, resonates and connects, like you can get a really good reaction, I think, out of it because it's not done as often anymore. But it
Most
also feels
definitely.
it feels a little bit more personal than like just a bunch of like Google ads thrown at you.
Yes. I agree.
Let me ask you this question. So, you have 700 customers now. You probably know what your most ideal customer profile looks like. Tell us what that looks like.
I would say middle class, someone with an income range around 50,000 a year, head of household. I have a lot of clients with families, so that's typically what my client base starts at, and then I have as high as like 700 business owners, 700,000 to $1 million. I was shocked they even reached out to me. I'm thinking they would have like their own accounting, like just the client base, because it's based on my reviews. I just reached, even though I've been in business forever, I never push reviews how I'm pushing them now. That's also a big benefit of being in business and having an online presence, reviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I reached my
definitely.
100th review. And so, yeah.
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 That's amazing.
Yes.
We track reviews as well. We do through G2 because it's a technical platform for comparison. And recently we've just reached 400 reviews.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And it's just a milestone for us, right? So
Huge.
We have 400 customers who are, very, very happy to provide feedback. That's just amazing.
Yes, it is.
That's really, really interesting. So it's individual people who are earning that amount of money on an annual basis that needs someone like you to be able to manage their tax returns, basically.
Yes.
It's amazing. Okay. And the majority of these people are business owners, so probably profiles are short on time, need help because this is really like a lot of overwhelming information for them. They don't want to get it wrong because it's got hard.
Want to take
So yeah,
advantage
I mean,
of all the expenses or tax breaks that they have available to them. So you're going to come to a tax expert. Yeah.
it's very interesting because I don't have a tax advisor, and I'm a CEO running like mad. I mean, if you ask John, I'm never on time for any meeting. It's
Right.
just
It's
typical.
terrible.
So, but I still do my own tax returns in my one country because I'm South African. So, in England I do my own tax returns, but in South Africa I've got my own tax financial advisor, and so this person does it for me in South Africa, but not in England. But most of my assets and most of my income comes from England. So it's strange that I don't do that, but even I can see the benefit of it. So yeah, it's just, it's something that I just don't have in my window. So maybe the business card at a petrol station will help me. I don't know. Like, it's just great. Yeah, so,
Most definitely.
Connect the dots,
Yes.
yeah, it's just amazing. Great.
Hey, I want to bring us back to just your story, actually, Falicia, if that's okay. And one of the things I'm really interested in, I ask everybody on the podcast, is just about mistakes that they may have made, when building their business or kind of going about their business. So just wanted to ask you, was there any mistakes that you felt you've made that you'd like to share with us?
Yes. Early starting out, as I started, like I said, it was just myself. I didn't have any help. Rushing, making errors, not being thorough, taking time. That's why it's important to have employees and you not try to take on all the responsibility yourself, because you will make a lot of mistakes. Just trying to get everything done, not trying to disappoint people, but you will end up eventually disappointing them if you're rushing and making mistakes. So you can't be superwoman. If you need help, you need to hire and not try to do it all alone.
What was stopping you from hiring someone? Why were you feeling like you couldn't quite do that yet?
Because I wanted all my money.
Yeah.
I
didn't want to have
fair.
to pay anyone.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's
the
fair.
truth.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? That's many business owners' dilemma, right? It's
Right.
you get a certain amount of income that you're getting for the customers that you have.
Yeah.
That next hire means you lose money. You don't
Exactly.
gain money. So yeah, I fully appreciate. And many business owners look at that and say, I'll rather just carry on like I am and kill myself.
No.
But it stops you
did
from
that.
scaling, right? It stops you from like expanding in more
Right.
potential, right? You could never do 700 customers by yourself right
No
now. You would just
way.
kill yourself, right?
And
so,
just to piggyback off you said, just trying to kill yourself doing it. No sleep, tired all the time, no life at all. And it was rough. I really was trying to do it by myself. And I crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting. That's
I
so
really
great.
did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you hired your first person, what was it that you were looking for with that first hire?
Someone who can ramp up quickly, because I'm so busy. You try not to hire someone where you have to hold their hand. So I'm looking for someone who can ramp up quickly, come on board, let's get started. Someone who take directions easily. Those were some of the qualities I was looking for in an employee.
Yeah, just going back to like some of the things that you did that probably weren't, in hindsight, the best decisions you made. We get a lot of CEOs that are nervous, so founders that are nervous about making any mistakes. And it's useful to provide good examples as to the fact that people like yourselves probably made many decisions that they would not make now. So yeah, just for the audience and for the listeners, is there an example of something that you can provide us that is in that category? You know, did you make a decision that maybe in reflection you shouldn't have? One of them is, like you said, killing yourself rather than hiring someone at the right time. So maybe that's one good example. You know, is there another example?
Yes, being organized. I was trying to remember everything. I have to put everything now in a calendar. I was overbooking, I was forgetting, I was just all over the place. So organization is going to be your best friend. Put everything in the calendar. You have to, because if you try to rely on your memory as busy as you are, you will fail.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fallible.
Yes.
You know, and a calendar's infallible once it's written down.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, on that, that's useful. That's one of the questions I was going to ask. You know, to all the audience. Falicia is a Capsule customer, so you know, we're very
Yes, I
happy to
am.
have her as a customer. But you know, one of the things we promote is the ability to be more organized when you are using a CRM. So
Yes, and I love
you
it.
talk about calendar, but just maybe give us a little bit of reflection, because for all of the contacts that you're managing and the customers, I'm assuming there's a lot of information that you're wanting to store in one place. So tell us how you do that and how it works. Yeah.
Yes, I love Capsule. I use it daily. I add my tasks that I'm responsible for that day, and when I complete them, I can just check them off. I absolutely love it. So, in Capsule, I have all the emails, all my contacts, addresses, anything I'll need for my client to contact them, reach out. I can email them through Capsule. It's like a one-stop shop.
That's amazing. And do you integrate with any accounting platforms like QuickBooks or anything like that with Capsule?
I do. My calendars, QuickBook, MailChimp. I have so many integrations through Capsule. Yes.
I'm gonna check MailChimp, because you shouldn't be using that. You should be
Really?
using our technology, Transpond. But we'll talk about that later. Yeah, we'll talk about
Honestly,
Oh, I see
like,
Transponder. I haven't tried Transponder yet, but I'm interested.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
we go. There we
yeah.
go. I'll ask one of my team to give you a call after
Okay,
this. That's great.
please.
I put
Yeah,
my
there we
I
go.
put my CEO in front of a customer, and he's already trying to sell.
I'm
What a
selling you.
shameless man!
It's a shameless promotion.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yes.
I also think you should be a partner of ours, but I'll tell you about that later. It's all
Uh-oh.
good.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, okay. Well, that's just interesting. I just it's because here's the scenario that we have, right? We have people like you who are start by themselves, and then they grow to 5 to 10 employees, and the majority of them are still using spreadsheets. And spreadsheets are amazing.
Yeah.
I use spreadsheets every day. John and I were having a session yesterday where he was showing me his spreadsheets, which I wasn't necessarily keen on, but you know, we were showing spreadsheets, right? And actually, as a business owner, using the right tooling for you to be more efficient, and to help you in your journey day to day, is the most important part of your first phase, right?
Of course.
So and something like CRM is very useful, but it could be other things, like, you know, you talked about QuickBooks, having some information in there that's useful, right? So it's just, you know, how did you decide on the tooling that you're using today as you were growing as a business? That'll be useful. Yeah.
Okay. I just look at all the CRMs that I use in my daily life. For instance, like QuickBooks, that's one I use for my bookkeeping clients. Okay, I have my bookkeeping clients stored in Capsule. So just I with Capsule, and the reason why I went with Capsule is because it had all those tools I could use to integrate what I currently use all the time. So it just worked for me. And if it was something that I can use and I can just put in one platform and not have to go out and log in to this and this account and this account, that's what I look for. I just look for something that's going to make my life easier, something that's going to help me be more organized and have it all under one umbrella.
we have many customers, many listeners on the podcast that need bookkeeping and accounting services, in their day to day. So, first thing I want to clear up, actually, and this comes up actually more than you might think, but I just want to clarify what the difference is between bookkeeping and accounting, if that's okay.
Bookkeeping is keeping accurate records of like transactions, your day-to-day activity in your business, versus accounting is like your end of year processes. For instance, like with bookkeeping, it's your day-to-day transactions, it's your end of the month statements, your reconciliation, and things like that. Accounting is a little more complex than bookkeeping.
Okay, more strategic. In that sense, that's great. And I want to ask is, why would you recommend that a small business owner go and get a bookkeeper or an accountant instead of trying to do it themselves? I know this seems like a really basic question, but again, it comes up a lot when we speak to people, our customers and listeners as well.
Because just like me, use me as an example, trying to do it all by yourself, you're not gonna be able to just keep all those transactions and your day-to-day activities. You're not going to be able to keep up with them, because if you're focusing on just running your business, how are you going to have time to manage your bookkeeping? And just having someone else to look over your books for you, making sure your numbers are correct, making sure everything lines up, it's just real helpful to a business owner, and I feel like it's a peace of mind. It gives you a peace of mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just easy to, with so much to do as a small business owner anyway,
Yes,
to overlook relatively straightforward and complex things like, bookkeeping and accounting and I guess like devalue it, but it's super, super important
it really
and
is.
valuable for sure. I want to know, like, from a characteristics point of view, what do you think makes a good bookkeeper? And what do you think makes a good accountant? Like, what's the makeup of that person look like?
Someone who's very thorough, someone who's very communicative to their clients. A lot of times clients are missing information. You have to be able to reach out to them, get that information so you can prepare their statements accurately. It's about being accurate, because your bookkeeping that you prepare for that client, they're going to use it to file their taxes. So you have to be very thorough, very accurate, um, and make sure you're looking over everything properly, and it's a little to no room for mistakes.
Yeah, definitely, because it can just screw things up massively
Yes,
and get you into issues with fraud and things like that. Um,
exactly.
I want to follow on with that question now. So many of our listeners and many of small business owners, that use Capsule will be in the market for a bookkeeper or an accountant. What would you advise them to do when they're like choosing one? What sort of thought process should they have?
I would say you're going to look for someone with years of experience. I mean, it's nice if someone is starting out as a bookkeeper, because I mean, we all started out somewhere. But you definitely want to look for someone who has experience. You're going to look for reviews. And those are two of the qualities I would recommend looking for. You want to make sure they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And they put their business cards in petrol stations as well. That's
Yes,
a big deal. I
most
definitely pick.
definitely.
Yeah, I definitely pick. So if I saw a business card from you in my gas station, I'd be picking that up straight away.
Yeah, it
um,
works.
yeah, 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 definitely. And I guess my final question here. We talked a little bit about tax season earlier on in the show, and it's a huge, really time-consuming and laborious process. But I guess, like, if you're thinking about like your clients and the people that you advise, what do you think that they could do to make their lives and a bookkeeper's accountant's life a little bit easier? When going through tax season.
when going through the tax season, if you're not using bookkeeping services, just make sure you're tracking everything. There's so many apps out there now. Like for small business owners, you can track your miles, you can track your expenses. You can pretty much track everything. There's an app for something. So just make sure you're tracking everything so that comes the end of the year, you have everything together. I have so many clients after I filed, they're like, oh, I forgot to send you this. I forgot to send you that. And now we have to do amendments. So just having all of your paperwork, keeping the track of all your paperwork, tracking expenses, those are the biggest, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you.
Definitely. You don't want it all scattered around in different places. You want it in one place to be able to, call that up. And it's something important anyway in business in general, to have that information all readily available for you and being organized and structured. Was there anything you feel like you would like to cover off, like, from an advice perspective that I haven't mentioned or asked?
I just feel like if it is small business owners out there that's looking to start a small business, just make sure you're doing your research. I do offer free consultations. So that's something you can look on my website and book. I'll be happy to speak to you about it. But you got to do your research before jumping out there.
Okay. That's good. Good to know. All right. So I'm going to give you some final questions now just to wrap things up. I wanted to ask you, really, what's the long-term plan for your business? Where you do think you're going to take it?
Long-term plans is definitely to have multiple locations for my clients. Yes, I'm studying for my I do want to take the exam to be an enrollment agent with the Internal Revenue Service. So I'm in school for that. So it's just to continue to build and grow.
Is that the University of Phoenix? I think I was stalking you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's why you doing that there. Amazing.
Yes, sir. I'm in school for my master's now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No stopping you, is there?
No way. I'm in it. I'm in too deep now.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So just to keep building and growing.
And where you're talking about opening a second office, would that be in Florida or be in another state? Or,
I think for now it'd be in Florida. I would love to take it to another state, but for now, Florida is my home, and I would definitely just like to build here for now.
And am I right in saying that another state will have different tax law requirements that you'd have to figure out, right?
They really do, and you have to know those. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have to take an exam for that? Like another exam in another state or not?
No, but like I have clients in California, New York, and they do require that you register with their state to be a tax preparer. So if you are doing tax returns in certain states, you do have to register with that state as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, that was from my curiosity. I'm just curious more than anything else. Okay, final couple of questions. Thinking about yourself, what's the one piece of advice that you could give to your younger self?
I would say just to ask for help when you're needed instead of just trying to do it all by yourself. It took me years to learn that. I don't know. I act like I had something to prove.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful. Thank you for that. My final question is this. Where can we learn more about you and your business?
Thank you for that. You can visit my website, which is newsomeprofessionaltax.com. I'm also on Instagram, Newsome_professional_tax. I'm everywhere. Just Google.
Amazing. Hey, just on behalf of Steve and I'm sure he's going to say this as well. It's been a real pleasure to meet you and speak with you, Falicia. Thanks for joining us today on Small Business Diaries. And thank you to our listeners for joining us and hearing this amazing story, from Falicia. Don't forget, everybody, if you want to hear more of this content, hit like, hit subscribe, so you'll never miss an episode. Let us know what you think about Falicia in the episode in the comments, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you.